Welcome to another session, a video with Sven Beiker from Silicon Valley Mobility and Herger from the Last Driver's License Holder. And we are here together January 2020. What is coming? What will be coming in 2020? What can we expect?
The future.
The future.
2020 used to be something that sounds nothing but just future, and here we are. Pretty exciting. Well, let's see. I mean, it used to be that 2021 was like announced as when autonomous driving is going to become real. There were announcements from Ford and BMW, others as well. I think 2016 about that they forecasted 2021 as the year. I think Daimler, Nissan even earlier. What we will see now is actually what is the reality. And so the reality is more than zero. So it's not like it did not happen, but probably different than expected. So that we will have autonomous vehicles, maybe not so much for the ultimate independence, ultimate freedom that can take you to wherever you want to go, maybe just down a busy road in a certain neighborhood, maybe just brings you goods and boxes as opposed to your grandmother. And that as an industry, but also as a society, that we will see, yes, this is actually the benefit of autonomous driving in the early stages. Then we will get a better understanding. So I think that's already happening now, with Waymo also making still good strides, maybe slower than many expected, but that's happening. And in electric vehicles, I think still a huge topic over in Europe, more than here, I find. We'll see if there's electric vehicles beyond Tesla. And let's see what the Audis and BMWs, Daimlers, and certainly Jaguars and Peugeots and what have you. If consumers at large actually say, yeah, that's what I want. We'll see.
So we've seen the videos now from Waymo. Or let's go one step back. There's 65 companies today in Silicon Valley with a license. So we have a lot of company testing autonomous vehicles here. We see them. We look out of the window here. We see the Lyft cars driving around.
Yeah, every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes, an out test vehicle by Lyft. But only a few of them are really, knowing where we know that they're really far ahead of everyone else, where they are certain. And we've seen the videos of Waymo in the Chandler, Arizona area, driving around, bold moves, like a complete empty car, no driver, no passengers in the car, windows rolled down in front of a school zone with kids crossing the street. That is some self-confidence in the technology. On the other hand, I heard statements from German engineers and German companies at the CES that said, we have to be very safe and so on. So what is going to happen?
Yeah. Let's see, for one, really kudos to Waymo, Google, Alphabet. I find them really being a very responsible and conscious player in the field, and if they demonstrate something, I have a lot of confidence that safety is really front and center and not just an advertisement. And I would not say this about each and every player in autonomous driving in Silicon Valley. So definitely not everybody fits that profile. Now, I would say that, and this is where I'm biased again, as you know, that the German manufacturers also take safety very, very important and critical. And still, it is probably something, is the glass half full or half empty, where in Silicon Valley you like to show something and talk about it. Whereas in Germany it's maybe more you do it and then you decide later if you really want to advertise this. So bottom line, in answering your question, Waymo again shows what is possible and where things are going. And the German automotive industry maybe then says, okay, I guess we somehow need to be a little bit more forthcoming, and we know what is possible. Maybe some things get backtracked and say, Let's use our approach. So let's just use a few words. Moving the envelope. That's what's happening here.
Do you think it's actually autonomous cars are something that the Germans or traditional car makers really believe in the sense that it doesn't fit somehow in their traditional business model?
That's right.
And their mindset, I guess, or you know, you love driving cars, so you go to such a company building that makes cars that you can drive.
Sure. Well, let's put it this way: the autonomous car, what it appears to be in the early stages, does not fit very well with what the traditional automotive industry, maybe in particular the German automotive industry, is selling, what the business model is built around. And it's not just about, well, you sell an automobile and you're done. Because you could sell an automobile that just goes down this one busy main street to move a few people or goods around. You could still sell an automobile for this, but what the traditional automotive industry, and the Germans in particular, are selling is freedom through an automobile. And freedom in the sense of independence, that you say, there's a car, you can go, what some people call the 4W, whenever, wherever, whatever the weather. And this is what an Audi and BMW, Daimler, and Chevrolet, Ford, whatever, is known for. And not like, ooh, that Ford only works in good weather. That's not what they do. And so therefore, it probably, most likely actually, will be others who deliver like the first realizations of truly autonomous vehicles, level 4, whatever you want to call it, and not necessarily the big traditional manufacturers.
I mean, I guess we will see some new use cases for that today. I live at an apartment complex where right in front of my window is a drop-off and pick-up zone for lifts and Ubers. Not officially, but still people are waiting there. And half of the cars, the lifts and Ubers waiting there, are bringing food. Bringing stuff. So, and when you look at it, it's kind of a waste of resource. You have a driver, you have a large car, and just a little box that comes in there. So I guess delivery vehicles autonomously driving, delivering those things is something that makes absolutely sense, and maybe also much less dangerous and safety critical.
It's a very important point that you bring up, Mario, because yes, it seems to be utterly inefficient to have one vehicle, take a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic. It's very often one of these like DoorDash delivery vehicles or something like that, to just bring you pizza, right? Yes, it seems like it, but on the other hand, it also shows what the automotive industry is. That you can sell a product like this for whatever, $13,000-$14,000, and someone can very reliably bring pizza to your house. Now, an autonomous delivery robot, much smaller volume manufacturing, and then adding the autonomous system to it, and then it can only bring it to your house, but maybe not to mine, because the setting is different. And that's what we need to understand, that the whole mobility and transportation system has so much inertia that if you want to change this, that's incredibly hard. And it might be then more efficient to just use something that's proven, namely a standard automobile, pay the drivers, unfortunately, at best, just minimum wage, and get you the pizza. So, and this is what we need to overcome and make better. And it will be very exciting how we will be able to do it.
Let's move to another topic, that's electric cars. And let's talk specifically about Tesla. Shanghai Gigafactory 3, from basically breaking the ground to first delivery of the vehicle, 357 days. Amazing.
Amazing, absolutely.
And then they're announcing having a Gigafactory in Berlin. which is famous today. The butt of the joke in the meantime for building an airport for almost 14 years now and not yet having that opened. So can Germany make Tesla?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, definitely interesting, the Berlin airport. I had a ticket actually to fly into the new Berlin airport in 2011. I should have kept that ticket on. Obviously, it was an electronic ticket. But they had already the new airport on there. Didn't happen in 2011. Well, let's put it this way. I think a lot will happen. Will it be the same timeline that we saw in Shanghai? Maybe not. But as soon as Tesla gets into the nitty-gritty of German local and federal regulation and planning, might be a little bit different from Shanghai. Again, what I said earlier in a different context, this will be pushing the envelope because still it is something that Tesla is putting quite a stake in the backyard of the traditional German automotive industry, and then you get into all of this, how certainly that industry, but also the government and labor unions and whatnot get involved. Probably not 357 days, but much faster than any of the traditional could do it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it will have it the end of 2021 then? That's what you want.
Early 2022, maybe.
Still, that would still be great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
In general, Tesla seems to be on a good run. I mean, the record sales last quarter, more than almost 112,000 cars. Yeah. Gigafactory is open, the new Gigafactory that they're building, and today we see the share price going $504.
There you
go. Being worth a market capitalization of $81 billion, like almost catching Volkswagen. That's
within reach.
89 billion. So is this still? I mean, many people still say it's a hype, but there's not the real value behind Tesla, and everyone's went crazy here. But they've been saying that for years.
Yeah, exactly. So wake up. Hype does not last this long. And a hype also would not recover that much from not so great news that Tesla has also experienced. So this is real, and it also shows that this is a different kind of organization, different kind of company that is unlike any traditional automotive company that has obviously had a lot of evolution and history and organizational development. This is a brand new company, even if it's now almost 20 years old, give or take. So a brand new company in automotive terms that is very much built around and built by one individual who makes very often, I find, brilliant decisions, sometimes decisions that I have a hard time to follow. But there's so much behind it. And I mean, what is in the end a stock price? It's an expectation into the future. And that basically means there's more to come. There's a different model behind, so business model behind all of this. And absolutely, this is beyond a hype. This is real. Still, nobody knows what's going to happen. But really, I'm paying them ultimate respect for what they've accomplished, and that's being rewarded.
I think what we don't understand, we are coming from a culture that looks at things, things that we can touch. I work in the software industry, so there's a lot of stuff that you cannot touch. Software you cannot really touch, right? And when you look at what Tesla is doing, collecting the data from almost now over 600,000 cars, driving data, gigabytes per car per month. How do you put an algorithm behind, a price behind an algorithm or the data? And that's tremendously valuable. And while we calculate mostly the machines, the buildings, the fleet that they build.
They got 21 manufacturing sites worldwide. They are a great company. This is changing now with Tesla, absolutely. And it probably needs to be something that those companies maybe need to be valued by different analysts. Probably analysts closer to the IT industry, to digital firms and products, much more than analyzing and valuing brick and mortar, which Tesla still is, right? I mean, this is real manufacturing. I mean, if you go to Fremont just across the bay and see the manufacturing, sure, some things are different than in Wolfsburg or Stuttgart or Yokohama, but much of it is the same. And in addition, and that is the important part, if you say collecting all this data, as Europeans, we would say, "Oh, that's scary. That's like, oh, what are they going to do with all this data?" Right? And it should not be taken lightly, right? Data protection and privacy and security, cyber vulnerability and everything. But there again, it's this one figure that's in the midst of it that also explains what's the benefit. And it's not something like, oh, by the way, we use your data and maybe you get some advertising from third parties. As much as I know, no, the main communication is we make the product better. And you are part of this. And maybe it's still some sort of early adopter becoming early mainstream now. So a different crowd than those purchasing the same vehicle over and over again every 3 or 4 years. But that is, again, a different kind of company. And the longer it lasts, the more value is being generated, because there's not just something, a snapshot of data. Sure, snapshot of data, great, why not? But the history, the longitudinal data that you get out of this, that's hard to catch up with. So, more to come.
Last question, Sven.
Sure.
We see now Fiat Chrysler merging with Renault Nissan. Do you foresee some other mergers between automotive companies, or maybe automotive companies being bought by, I don't know, IT companies, like let's say Apple buys somebody?
I'm not sure if Apple is going to buy someone, and I really don't like to speculate about certain companies in public. And let's call this public, even if it's just the two of us and a camera in a room. I'm absolutely certain there's more acquisitions and mergers to come, and consolidation in the industry. And also big ones are on the shopping list of even bigger ones. And I think what is quite likely that there's more somewhat friendly mergers to come. And 2020, I think, will more be of a transition, and then 2021, 2022 to 2025, which is relatively long term now. But I think there we will see a lot of consolidation, and also appetite from non-traditional automotives into that actually is a good complement.
Okay, thank you, Sven. The future remains interesting, I guess. This was Sven Beiker, Silicon Valley Mobility, and Herger, the last driver's license holder.